What's going on, everyone? It is I, Jacob Moore, the self-proclaimed sports analyst, joined by Mr. Lane Dash and Dashco.
We're back-to-back days here, you and me again.
Back. Going views now, back to that. We're turning in the Drake here, except we are not placing $500,000 bets. I think Drake must have bet on Toronto both games.
I don't even have $500,000.
If I had $500,000, I'd buy a bungalow, maybe. It's pretty tough in Ontario. But anyways, two big games on the docket tonight with your Hamilton Tiger Cats lane taking on the Edmonton Elks. So obviously Hamilton's the heavy favorite going into this one. But Lane, you seemed a little, we were talking about it last night, you seemed a little uneasy still.
Yeah, I still think at the end of the day, kind of like just how I see it, like winning streaks can't last forever, right? And I just feel like this is going to be one of those winning streaks that kind of comes to an end. They've gone 5 in a row. That's impressive. I would love to be 6 in a row. I really, really want to be. But again, like I said, with the Blue Jays and the Orioles, eventually you're going to lose games. And I just feel like this could be one of those games where you do lose.
It could be. I mean, Edmonton is they are playing, I would say, below expectations, but I thought they played pretty decent in a lot of ways against Saskatchewan. Now they're going to have to do it without one of their studs in, I believe it's Anderson, who was just placed on the 6-game injured list, which is certainly a huge loss for the Edmonton Elks as they are really looking to, get better. And they only have one win, especially with Winnipeg beating, Nick Anderson on the 6-game injured list, especially though with Winnipeg beating Toronto. You're kind of in a moment where it's very important for these Edmonton Elks to find a way to win. And hello, Mr. Moore, for your money. You're on your way to the Blue Jays game. And actually, speaking of Mr. Moore for your money, because we can't have a party without Dan Moore involved, because he gets FOMO, he gets upset, he wishes he was here with us on the island. Instead, he's down in the 6. So let's hear from Dan on his predictions in this game. Is he worried about the Hamilton Tiger Cats going to 6-2 after their Argos suffered yet another loss? Dan, take it away.
Hey everyone, Dan Moore, more for your money. Big game going on today at the Sky Dome. SA Blue Jays can rally back from last night's disaster to tie for series. So we'll be at the game, so definitely keep our social media for that. Everything's going on today. Big doubleheader in the CFL today. Versus Ticats versus Elks is the first game. I'm going to go way off the board. I'm going to pick the Edmonton Elks to go 2-5 and beating the 5-game win streak of the Ticats. So sending you a rivalry, Mr. Lane Dash and Dasco on the Speakers app. And James will go to Hamilton sending you a rivalry too. Let's go. Enjoy the show, everyone. Woo!
Okay, so Dan seems to assume that we wouldn't go with Edmonton. I'm 50-50 right now because the analytical brain is saying
it's hard,
Hamilton
right?
should beat Edmonton.
Right.
But
I should beat
Hamilton last week, and that hurt. But I needed Hamilton to win because my Toronto Argos are chasing the BC Lions. I don't need Hamilton to beat Edmonton. So I'm going with the Edmonton Elks, guys. I also, you know what, too, though? I felt the Elks came off a real gutsy performance against Saskatchewan last week. And no disrespect, but I do think Saskatchewan's defense is better than Hamilton's. Now, I think Hamilton's offense straight up is better than Saskatchewan's offense.
Well, Hamilton
much as Rough Riders have the most accurate quarterback in football right now, Mitchell seems to just be playing the best football he's played of his entire career.
It's going to be tough, right? Like at the end of the day, it's really just going to come down to because Bo Levi Mitchell can just keep performing miracles, right? Like this game's really going to come down to the defense of the Edmonton Elks. I got to be honest. Like can they stop Kenny Lawler? We've seen it back-to-back weeks now. Even where last week, where Kenny Lawler really wasn't a factor, and you had Smith and Augustine and Bell and Tim White really carry the load for this team. And Bo Levi Mitchell has kind of wound back the clocks a bit here, just like
back time.
Trevor Harris have found a time machine and been able to go back to their MVP seasons here and seem to be unstoppable.
You know what? I I don't wish I picked Winnipeg. I will be sticking with my Argos until we're mathematically eliminated. But can your Elks do me a favor at least? And so if I can at least watch Hamilton lose, like Lane got the enjoyment of watching the Argos lose, let me have the enjoyment of watching the Ticats lose. But then it's a whole world. We can all be miserable and happy at the same time together. It's like being a Leaf fan. Or being a Jays fan of late, although Dan still thinks the Jays are the best team to ever touch a bat. And we'll see if the Jays do any better today, actually, with that too, because they played.
Who's pitching today?
I'm not sure who's. I'm not pitching today, thank goodness. But you know what though? I am sticking with my prediction from the Thursday preview, from the Thursday pre-record, I should say. Sorry. And I think Edmonton will win this game. And going into some of our props for this one, I still feel Edmonton needs to hold Lawler under 125 yards and limit him to no more than 1 TD. Mm-hmm. I as much as I understand Smith had a phenomenal game last week, but Lane, I don't know if you agree with me. I don't think the recipe for success for Hamilton is Smith putting up 165 yards every night.
No, definitely not.
Like look, Smith is a decent receiver, but he's not up there with Kenny Lawler or DeMonte Coxey. By the way, I think Coxey might be the most underrated receiver in the CFL. 185 yards last night and 2 TDs, and no one's talking about him because the Argos lost. But fine, but Coxey balled the last 3 weeks. Coxey's just been balling. He's been like a dentist without a license. He's in your teeth. But Lane, I want to ask you, Edmonton's rushing games hasn't been very good of late. And in our sports booth, we had about the Elks getting at least 80 yards rushing. Do you think that's something they really need to try to get back to try to help this team?
Yeah. You got to have a better offensive line for sure. You got to give Cody Fajardo more time. They got a running back has to get involved somehow this game, because I do feel like, the Ticats, although their defense isn't elite, this team still can make big defensive plays, and they made it last week.
And they've done it, right?
Yeah, they did it last week against BC, when they had to make a stop. Even though they didn't play a great game, they made a stop when it mattered, right? This defense can, make some good interceptions here. So if you're and it's going to be interesting to see how this offensive line, it was bad against Saskatchewan, but if it's just equally as bad, it could be an ugly game for them too. So it's really hard to put the pen on this one. Where do you think it's, because everything, pointing it's towards Hamilton favored, right? They got the better offense. They probably have the better defense. They have the better team.
I think they have the better defense, especially with Nick Anderson being injured. He's a huge part of this Edmonton defense. And Dan, you know what? Just to let Mr. Morphorn know, he sent the rivalry backwards and he picked Hamilton in the app. Oh no! So I accepted his rivalry, sticking with my Edmonton Elks to take this.
Then you messed up.
Funny. I thought I was the dyslexic one, but here you are flipping things around. But I do got to agree with you, Dan. Back into the comment sections on number 86 with DeMonte Coxey. Yes, I think when you're talking top receivers, I think him and Kenny Lawler, you got to be putting in a similar
for sure
at this point. Because especially if you, let's just keep it a buck here. DeMonte Coxey's doing this with Nick Arbuckle. Can you imagine if it was Chad Kelly in there? Or if he's playing can you imagine if Hamilton had Coxey and Lawler? It would be unstoppable. So, but back into this one tonight for Hamilton, and Lane, maybe you'll disagree with me, but and maybe this team's different this year, but I have found with the Ticats in the past, they have a tendency of getting a little ahead of themselves. Thinking that, I saw it last year quite a few times where they seemed to think games were done, or they felt like they were just the better team and they didn't completely show up. They haven't done that this year. I will give them credit, but you remember how I said I'm waiting to see what the Blue Jays do in August? I'm waiting to see how the Ticats handle it when things aren't going their way. Because right now, besides that one crazy interception by Robert Jr., pretty much anything that could go their way, I think, Lane, you would agree with me, is going their way.
Oh, for sure, 100%. Like we've look at the last few weeks, right? Every game has been like, even the Ottawa game, they weren't fantastic games, but they just found ways. And even the game last week, there's a game they were losing 99% of the game, and then just happen to get a walk-off touchdown to win the game. But they said they haven't been playing, like, it's crazy. Like, they are playing fantastic football, but they're not playing fantastic football, if you know what I mean. Like,
now, good
kinda
teams
weird.
find a way to win
Yeah.
because you can look. This might sound crazy to say it. I think the Argos and the Ticats, play for play, aren't that far apart right now this season. But then you look at the records, Hamilton is finding a way to put together game-winning drives where Toronto just isn't. Right? That's been the difference. And I think that is the difference, too, with having Bo Levi Mitchell as your quarterback. He's a veteran guy who I think, to give Scott Milanovich credit, I think he has Mitchell playing the best football he's ever played. He is playing at such a high level right now. And this is not me saying he was bad in Calgary. He was phenomenal in Calgary. But Mitchell is not as young as he used to be, and the game has changed. So he's adapted, taking those shorter throws when they're open instead of trying to bomb it down the whole field every single play. And honestly, I think Bo Levi Mitchell was playing his best football of his entire career right now,
100%.
which that's scary to think, because Hamilton still has him locked up, I think, for at least another year after this year.
Crazy.
So, I mean, Hamilton's looking at this. If we can keep Mitchell playing this well, you have a potential to be the best team in the East and get the bye in the first round of the playoffs. And that's what a team like Hamilton's thinking right now. I don't think they're thinking playoffs. I think they're thinking division.
For sure.
Where like a team like Toronto and Ottawa, they're just trying to fight their way back into the dance. Where teams like Hamilton, who I did not project Hamilton to be this good this year. I really didn't. And I'm not just saying that because I'm an Argo fan.
You didn't think Kenny Lawler would be the change the team needed?
Honestly, I didn't think Bo Levi Mitchell was this good anymore. And that's no disrespect to him. I thought he was still a good quarterback, but I thought he was going to be more like what Zach Collaros has been this year. Kind of up and down.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
Right now, Bo Levi Mitchell is proving me very wrong and is proving he is arguably the best quarterback in the Canadian Football League. And actually, there's not really an argument. You look statistically, the only one you could maybe argue is Trevor Harris because he's a little more efficient. But he throws more interceptions at the moment. So,
what's this?
Back to the comment section. To be honest, I think Hamilton has always been smarter about special teams, but Toronto is better at finding those open spaces for good running plays and long darts. Long darts when they want to. Okay, Hamilton is way better at special teams right now than Toronto. That's very true, especially after last night. I was screaming at the TV, fire this special teams coordinator.
He's had a rough year, eh?
You have to look. These are 2 games now you've lost because of special teams. If you're Toronto, you're not getting Janarian Grant proper blocking to get him to make explosive plays either. And you look at Hamilton. I don't even remember who their kick returner is. I'm drawing a blank, but he's been phenomenal. Right? And Hamilton's blocking
Wooden, right? Isaiah Wooden, right?
Yes, thank you. But like they've been able to really he helped a guy get $1 million.
Really? Give me my money.
I'm just looking at Hamilton, and yeah, they've been finding ways to make the special teams plays and hitting the deep shots when it's there. But hey, like I look at it last year, Bo Levi Mitchell was always trying to hit the deep ball, whether it was double coverage, triple coverage, no coverage. He just thought, I'm Bo Levi Mitchell and I'm better than you and I can do it. Which, you know what? 5-6 years ago, that was the case. Bo Levi Mitchell could fit a ball through any window. He can't do that anymore, but he can take those check downs now, be more responsible with the ball, use his legs when he needs to. And all of a sudden, Bo Levi Mitchell is regained himself as the best quarterback in the CFL. And people will argue with me it's Trevor Harris. Chazzy, I'm sure, would argue with me that it's Vernon Adams Jr. But I say numbers don't lie. And Bo Levi Mitchell right now is undisputed. And I don't see how you can tell me another quarterback is better.
No,
he's going into today's game on 133 yards behind Nick Arbuckle for leading in passing. So I'm assuming he'll pass Nick Arbuckle today in passing yards. That's one thing crazy to think too, by the way, that Nick Arbuckle is towards the top in passing yards. But the big difference is between a guy like Mitchell versus a guy like Arbuckle, or even a guy like Vernon Adams Jr., 15 touchdowns to 3 interceptions.
It's crazy, eh?
That is a ratio you are so bloody happy with. He's only throwing interceptions 1.2% of the time,
And
where Vernon Adams Jr. is throwing them 3.2% of the time. Nick Arbuckle 3.2% of the time. Drew Brown 2.5%. Nathan Rourke 2%. Trevor Harris 2.1%. Zach Caleros is throwing interceptions 6.5% of his throws.
And you can even argue one of those interceptions was a
Wasn't even his
miracle.
fault. Some interceptions are not your fault. Some are just a great play defensively. Like, so I think right now it's not even, because as much as I think Arbuckle is doing a serviceable job as a backup quarterback, he's out there, he's creating plays, and I do feel he is giving Toronto a chance to win. You can't compare them, right? Like, I think you look at Bo Levi Mitchell. Bo Levi Mitchell was doing what I thought Drew Brown would be doing this year, truthfully. I thought Drew Brown was going to take that next step and be the real king of the league in Ottawa.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been, right? Even Davis Alexander, everyone's going on about him. 6 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. That's not a great ratio.
No,
Like for a starter, right? Like if that's a guy filling in. Nathan Rourke, 10 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Okay, you're not too upset about that. Trevor Harris, 11 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. But Trevor Harris makes up for it by completing just under 76% of his passes. Like the guy is so accurate. Yeah, every now and then I guess it's going to get picked, but no, I think we can say pretty clearly, Lane, that I think Hamilton's got the best quarterback in the league. And if you can beat him, you got to find a way to shut down that passing game.
Of course, you feel like, as much as you don't want to hear this, I know you're probably going to want to plug your ears right now. If Hamilton keeps this up with this, if Bo Levi Mitchell continues this all season, they're definitely a Grey Cup threat 100%.
Oh, they are. I hate to say it, but I completely agree with you.
If Bo Levi Mitchell continues to churn out games like this, like watch out. Because, every time, even though the Hamilton Ticats have never won the Grey Cup since like 1999, I know Dan tells me profusely. I always felt like when I was watching, they never had that start. They were always out quarterbacked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Dane Evans and Zach Caleros. It was once.
Bless you, Lane.
I'm surprised there's not more, because usually when I see this, it's like 50 times, but it still might come up. But I just feel like they never had the star quarterback that they need to have, and now they have one in Bo Levi Mitchell.
They do. And they have that star receiver as well in Kenny Lawler, who in 7 games this year has 673 yards, 8 plays for over 30 yards. The only player that's doing more for that right now, funny enough, is Toronto Argonauts' DeMonte Coxie. Now, he's got an extra game under his belt, but Coxie in 8 games has 774, 10 plays for over 30 yards. So you're looking, these are the 2 best explosive receivers in the CFL.
For sure.
Oh, Lane, you're being called out. Lane is allergic to QB pressure. Don't blitz Lane, okay? No one blitz the Dashinator 3.0.
But I am blitzing.
But the only thing that does concern me with Hamilton personally is, you know what? I feel Tim White is kind of coming into his own now. Like he's playing a lot better of late. But I don't know, Lane, if you disagree with me or not. I don't love Hamilton's rushing attack.
It's bad. It's always been bad.
Truthfully, I don't think Greg Bell is very good. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I've not been impressed with Greg Bell really this year. He's currently...
He's not bad.
He's currently sitting 15th for rushing yards. 14th. 4 games, 164 yards, 4.7 yards a carry.
It's not a lot.
When you just compare it to James Butler, who they let go, and now mind this is in 8 games, but 619, 5.5, 13 runs for over 10 yards, 4 for over 10. 4 for over 20, and 5 TDs versus Greg Bell and some of those stats. He only has 1 touchdown and only has 4 runs for over 10 yards.
Yeah, I don't know. The Ticats have never been really.
But you had such a good running back in James Butler. I don't understand why you just didn't keep him. Can you imagine if you had Butler and Mitchell right now? It's like Calgary with Mills and VA, right? It's hard to stop. Or Saskatchewan with Ouellette and Harris.
But you can make the argument that if they do have Butler, maybe Bo Levi Mitchell isn't as dominant, right?
But if a team can find a way to slow down Bo Levi Mitchell, which in my opinion, it's quarterback, it's blitzing. If I'm Edmonton, I am just blitzing the hell out of Hamilton all day. Blitz, 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 blitz. I really feel for these older quarterbacks that aren't as mobile, just blitz the hell out of them, man, and just make their life a living hell. And if I'm Hamilton, I'm doing the same thing against Cody Fajardo. Even though he's mobile, you know that offensive line in Edmonton is not good. Right? Straight up. You notice the teams that are not doing as well, the offensive lines are bad. Like you look at Toronto and you look at Edmonton, both of them have offensive lines that are underperforming. And that's a key to their struggles. So, Lane, are you also, after everything we've gone over, are you still sticking with, are you actually going against your Ticats tonight? Or you think your Ticats will make it 6 in a row?
No, I think the winning streak's coming to the win. And I said I don't want it to. I'm still hoping I'm wrong. I really do. But I think the winning streak's coming to an end. It's just
I'm hoping you're right.
I just don't see it, like, personally. It's so hard to win. You know how hard it is to win 5 games in the CFL. It's almost impossible.
To win 5 in a row? Like,
yeah, it's rarely done. And now we're talking 6.
I mean, if they're going to do it 6 in a row, I mean, you are facing an Elks team that I think has been up and down. As much as they only won 1 game, I think they've played some good games.
Yeah, but I think they're going to come out hungry. That's the difference.
I think they'll lose today, and then they'll beat BC the next week.
Oh, yeah.
Which I hope.
Like I said, I said this before. Like, just because you lose doesn't mean the season's over, right? Like,
no. That's how I feel about the Argos right now, as much as they're 2-6. I don't think their season's done yet because you're still only 1 win behind the Lions right now. Like, you look at the Lions who you're chasing. The Lions are 3-5. You're 2-6. You don't feel like you're out of this season just yet.
So, like, I don't know. I just, like, you lose. Like, you might lose. You're going to lose 1 game in the season. You're not going to. Everyone's freaking out. Yeah, it's not like the Jays. They won 10 in a row. They lose 1 game. Everyone's like freaking out. It's like, okay.
I've been freaking out more about the Jays because now they've lost 5 of their last 6.
But it's going to happen.
They're not playing well. Hopefully they play better today.
But that's going to happen, right? That's just sports is up and down. It's a roller coaster of positives. It's a roller coaster of negatives, and you just got to put yourself in the best
position. Like any relationship, there's ups and downs. But Mr. Chazzy could not join us live today because it is Amelia's birthday. So happy birthday, Amelia. It's lovely daughter. But Chazzy did take the time to send us a video on his pick for the second game of today, Saskatchewan versus Montreal.
All right, Streakers Nation, we are getting to host Amelia's 5th birthday party here, but I have to get in my pick for tonight. I have put a rivalry out there for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I think that defensive line, that pressure, that surge is going to be too much for the Alouettes tonight, and that turnover ratio will continue to climb for those Green Riders. So my pick tonight is the Saskatchewan Roughriders to dominate the Montreal Alouettes. Enjoy the game.
So Craig is taking... Oh, we got some happy birthdays in the chat to Amelia. Happy birthday from Keith.
Happy birthday, Amelia.
But we have Chazzy taking the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I'm a little surprised he's taking the Riders because realistically, he should want the Alouettes to win as a Stamps fan. Because the Stamps have now lost 2 in a row. You're down to 5-3. But like I said, VA's coming back next week. Calgary fans don't hit the panic button. I think this will be the lowest scoring game of the week between Saskatchewan and Montreal. These are the 2 best defenses in the CFL. Montreal still has to go with McLeod Buffalo Thompson tonight. Davis Alexander's not going. Austin Mack, I believe, is back, which will help that offense. But White Lane, are you thinking more high scoring? You think Trevor Harris can just rip this defense apart?
Hard to say, right? Like I think I originally said it's going to be over because Trevor Harris just seems to put up points no matter what you do. He's like a bully by Mitch, right? Even if you think you're going to get to him, you tend not to. So I could see this being a blowout, though.
Wow. Okay, so I put a combined 43 for this one tonight because I predicted a low-scoring game. Lane disagrees with me. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section if you think 43 combined points is realistic or not. But we talked about it a little bit last night just because I love to get Chazzy going on it because I think it's funny. But Sean Lemon is playing today. This is his first game back since the double suspension. 1 suspension for gambling. the other suspension for drug use. Now, I found it very weird. He was suspended for taking performance-enhancing drugs while he was suspended for not playing. I don't really see the big deal if he was, no matter what he was doing at that point. Well, I mean, he can't go murder someone, but like, you know what I mean. But Sean Lemon did speak with Third Down Nation, and he says he is taking responsibility. I just want to read you the quote. Clear the throat. And I have to look over here because it's on my other screen. I made a mistake. I take full responsibility for my actions and understand that it was a lapse of judgment. I took some counseling to work on myself as a man so I can be ready from a mental aspect as a physical aspect as well. Trying to better myself, not as a football player, but as a man as well. I never wanted to feel like I was entitled to an opportunity to rejoin the league. Thanks for allowing me back into the league, to the commissioner and the league. I won't let you guys down. I'm thankful to have an opportunity to be playing, doing what I love to do, and that's playing football. So, again, like the bets they were 2-game parlays for 70 euros, which is equivalent to $100 Canadian. I can honestly see both sides to this a lot of the time. I get why someone, like, I think, Lane, you were more on the side of Chazzy saying, like, this guy shouldn't have been let back in. But I have a hard time comparing this to what we're seeing with, like, the Guardians, right?
What's different?
Where they're literally throwing games for, never mind, thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, where Sean Lemon threw $100 down. I understand they're both wrong, but it's kind of like saying someone doing 10 over on the 400 should get the same ticket for someone doing like 200 in AM school zone.
Yeah, right.
You get what I mean? So I don't know. Like, I think if he makes the mistake again, he's gone. But I don't know. I'm still 50-50. I'm surprised the league let him back in. I think there was a lot of pressure to let him back in, especially, whether people agree or disagree. They did let Chad Kelly back into the league, and I understand they're not the same situations, but this CFL has been about second chances.
Well,
kind of what they've been known for.
The one good thing that you can hope for humanity is that people change, right?
Yeah.
The one thing that you can take positive is in that, we all hope for, and we all hope that people can better themselves, right? Like, let's be honest, none of us, if you're perfect, I'd love to meet you. But I don't think there's anyone on this planet that's 100% innocent. We've all done things we shouldn't have done. There's all things in our past that we look back on and go, why do we do this? And we made these mistakes. We made this mistake. Whether people know about it or not, we all think we've all made those mistakes, right? But the thing that's good about those mistakes is you can learn from them and you become a better person. And whether you want to do that or not, that's up to you. That's on to you to take. But as a humanity, we got to believe that there's good in people, right? And that someone like Sean Lemon, who has made these mistakes, is maybe what he's saying is true, and that maybe he has bettered himself. Maybe he's gone for the counseling and realized, what I did, I messed up. I really did mess up, and I want to prove that I'm a better person. And I think we owe them that right to give them that chance.
Yeah, that's why I think bringing him back, they did it the right way, saying we're going to give you another shot, but if you screw up again, you're done. Like, I think that's what you have to do, but look, he did do the counseling, he did serve the suspension, so I kind of wanted to address it today, but I do hope it's not something that's addressed every time he touches the field. Right? Like, it's done now, it happened, he faced his suspensions, and, time to move on. I was curious. I did Google to see if anyone famous was named Perfect, and they are not.
Well, there was a wrestler named Mr. Perfect.
Which, by the way, speaking of wrestling, Lane is doing his first post-game wrestling show tonight. So make sure you are locked into Lane's channel, Sports Talk with Lane. We'll share it as well on the Streakers Island podcast for people who want to check it out. And make sure you're tuning in. It's going to be a great time. But quickly back to the comment section here. By the way, fans out there on YouTube and X, because it's just Dan and I watching on. There are people watching on YouTube and X. Don't you worry. Last night's post-game show was a must-watch. Thank you very much, Keith Smith. Yes, last night's post-game show was, especially when I think we ran on random rants about esports gaming, and we had a great conversation and a great time with that. But Lane, I'm curious, do you think Sean Lemon will make an impact in his first game back, or do you think he's gonna knock the rust? He's gonna have some rust to knock off.
Oh, for sure. You're gonna have some time. It's gonna take time to get back into team reps. Hasn't played in a few years. It's not gonna just come back. I mean, he might play
300
okay.
days since he last played a snap.
Yeah. There's
His
no
last
way.
snap was actually when the Alouettes. No, it wasn't when they won the Grey Cup, because then he fought the suspension. You're allowed to play while you're fighting a suspension. And then he was banned from the league, and now he's been reinstated. Yeah, I don't know. I could see. I think Sean Lemon. I think he'll play. Obviously, he's going to play today, but I don't see him taking every snap. I think you're going to kind of ease him into the lineup today. And realistically, Montreal doesn't necessarily have to have Sean Lemon to be effective. It's a very good defense, and Noah Thorpe, I think, is the best defensive coordinator in the Canadian football. Excuse me, in the Canadian Football League. Right? He's very smart, runs a lot of confusing packages, but he's going against Trevor Harris, who is by far the most experienced quarterback in the Canadian Football League, right? So I think, Lane, you really think this is going to be a blowout. I'm really surprised you're calling for a blowout for the Riders.
Oh, I do, yeah. I think it'll be a blowout.
Wow.
100%. I just don't think Montreal's that good. I think Saskatchewan is that good.
Wowzers. I think.
Although I was wrong last night. I said it was going to be I was wrong last night.
Honestly, that game could have been a blowout if it wasn't for the 2 punt returns. Because you look, Winnipeg only put up their offense didn't do much. Like if you look at all their points, it was basically special teams and defense. But either way, they found a way to win. I'm still salty about it, but I want Saskatchewan to win, but I think Montreal will. I think MBT is he found a way to win last week. And I think he's going to be ready and experienced enough to handle this Rough Rider defense. And I think Montreal's offensive line is better than Edmonton. So I think he'll have a little more time in the pocket to make plays. So I'm going with the Saskatchewan Rough Rider. I mean, no, I'm not going to Saskatchewan Rough Rider. I'm going with the Montreal Alouettes in a low-scoring, close game with just lots of really good defensive plays, which could still be a very exciting game. We're going to see some great tackling today. And I think we're going to see two very evenly matched teams. I'm surprised. Like, Lane, are you saying, I'm just going to say it here. Are you kind of saying this because you feel Hamilton is that much better than Montreal? Or do you think Montreal is just is not as good as their record?
I just don't think, especially with Davis Alexander, I don't see them being as good as their record. I really don't. I don't believe in MBT. I really don't.
I mean, it's kind of tough to when he hasn't really had a winning record since since he was in Toronto.
Yeah.
Right. So
I could be wrong. I just personally, I don't really believe in him as a quarterback that's going to get you a lot of wins.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a quarterback that's going to get you a lot of wins, right? Just so you asking me earlier, Lane, it's Max Scherzer getting the start today, this afternoon.
That might be interesting. That's either going to go really well or really poorly.
I mean, you're trying to get him going before the playoffs start.
Should have put the new guy in there. Should have put the Bieber.
Baby, no.
You wonder if they'll sell a lot of jerseys with Bieber on a Toronto jersey.
We have a little bit of time before we sign off for the football. So I want to quickly ask you, Lane, when you're looking at the Jays today, I would call this, honestly, a critical game for the Jays with the way they've been playing of late. Maybe to not necessarily win, but a critical game to play well.
Yeah, you got to.
Because I don't think they've played well over the last 6 games. If you want my honest opinion, even though they won one of them, I felt the game was bad that they won. A lot of defensive mistakes, bad pitching. It just they found a way. I am curious, though, do you think the Jays will find a way to win this one today versus the Royals?
I think they have to. Yeah, you don't want to. I mean, I know you don't want to. Losing streaks are going to happen, but you don't also want to. You don't want to derail the winning streak that you had, right? You don't want to go on a 10-game winning streak, then go on a 10-game losing streak. So you got to snap out of it. You got a tough series coming up with the Dodgers too. Like you can't go too far in the hole here. Jay's got to turn this around.
I A little. It's weird. I've been preaching that I don't know if this Jays team has it. I just want to see them play well. I don't necessarily. Obviously, I want to see them win. I just want to see them remember how to play baseball.
Because you look at their record, they've got the Royals. They got the Royals for 2 more games. Then you got the Rockies, who is a team you should beat on, but you never know. Then you got the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Rangers, and the Pirates, and then the Marlins. Well, you got to win a lot of those. Those are a lot of winning a winnable game, but you can't squander the ones that you should be winning.
Well, and that's the problem, especially with the Yankees have been playing about 500 baseball of late, so they've been playing better. And you just need to make sure you don't kind of let this one slip away. Because I still feel they have control to win the division. They just got to start playing better. You're not going to win every game. I understand that. But when you play that poorly, then it's a concern. So right now for the Jays, I am going to pick the Jays to win tonight, though. This afternoon, whatever.
Same. I think they have to.
I think this is I'm not going to call it a must win. I'm going to call it a must play well. Even if they lose, let's say they lose a game where, but you know what, the team's playing pretty well, then okay. But if they're not playing well, then I am a little concerned. We do have Guerrero is DHing today, which puts France on first base. I believe he's one of the new guys, is he not, Lane?
Yes, he is. He's one of the new guys.
So let's see how he does today on first base. George Springer is still out of the lineup, which is moving, which is Badger, Straw, and Leprofito out in the outfield.
It's not bad.
With France on first base, Clement on third, Schneider on second, Bo Bichette shortstop. So let's see how this team does.
Who's the catcher today? I'm assuming it's Heineman.
Heineman today. Alejandro Kirk is still injured, and I don't think they're going to rush him back.
No.
Can I have one thing I got to state, though? I just want to show you the graphic they used. Could they not make it look terrifying? Because this is going to be like in my nightmares. Like, I get they want to show the picture behind the glove, but he looks like he's like whispering like kill instructions. Like, and I love Scherzer, don't get me wrong, he's a great guy, but he literally looks like he's like target acquired. I don't know, it's just a little like
eye. What's wrong with his eye?
I'm not sure, but it's just a little. And then, of course, people are deciding in the comments to talk politics in the Jays thing. I don't know why people see sports. Let's talk politics. Let's not talk politics. I don't know, Lane, you love politics, though, don't you?
No. Not particularly. I don't really know anything about it.
But since we're just about to get to kick off, I think it's time we wrap up the show for today. But thank you very much for watching. Make sure you stay locked in with us on social media. I'll probably post something quick in between the games. And Keith Smith would be concerned if Lane was in the politics. Maybe, you know what? Screw it. Lane for Prime Minister.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Let's go. All the tax breaks to everyone who downloads the Streakers app.
And on my birthday, everyone has to give me 50 cents.
Wow. That'd actually make a lot of money.
Oh, for sure. Just 50 cents on my birthday. Everyone just send it in. Make sure it's here at my home.
But thank you very much, everyone, for watching. The self-proclaimed sports analyst, joined by Lane Dashing Dashco. Make sure to tune in to Lane's very first new show, Sports Talks with Lane, and he's going to be covering. Lane, actually, why don't you quickly give us a little synopsis on what you're going to be covering tonight?
So, yeah, tonight is going to be night one of WWE SummerSlam, the biggest party of the summer, taking place tonight in New York, New Jersey, wherever you want to call it, there at MetLife Stadium, starting at 6:30 on Netflix. It's going to be night one. We're going to watch it, and then we're going to cover it live here on StreamYard, on YouTube, Twitch, and maybe Facebook. So if you like wrestling, you like who you see here, I don't know who's joining me tonight, but if you like to come see me, talks about some WWE, we're going to have a big show. It should be a big night. So hopefully some big, good matches on tonight, as this is they're one of their biggest pay-per-views of the quarter of their year. So it should be a big event tonight as we kick off night one of WWE SummerSlam here tonight.
And Lane, don't worry. Key was not concerned about you. Concerned about the pitching. What if Lane's the pitcher? Can you throw a mean fastball, Lane?
No.
But thanks very much. That's why we talk about sports. We don't play them. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Remember, Chazzy might do a 71-kilometer walk coming up, so make sure you stay locked in to see if he does that. We'll see you guys later. Have a good night, everyone. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the baseball. Enjoy the Summer Slam. Make sure you stay locked in on our social medias. We'll be posting stuff throughout the day. Big Super Saturday. Talk to you guys later.